안녕하세요. 조소입니다. 감사합니다. NiziU, second album, Coconut, just dropped about a week ago, and let's check it out because I've been looking forward to hearing more from this group. So this is it looks pretty interesting. Coconut, looks very summery. Might probably has one of those vibes. So let's see what they did with this one. That's really really fun, dude. That's a blast. It's like it's so it's not oversaturated, but there's like so much going on. The change ups that occur moving through sections keep it, from ever getting like they don't hang around in the same groove, too long enough for it to get a little bit tedious or a little bit, overbearing, right? So these constant sort of swings to different feels. It's like, okay, like these Latin jazz undertones of things, there's this really nice trumpet sound. I mean, it's really an awesome trumpet part that they have going on in here, and that little, I think it's like, what is it, pre-chorus or somewhere around there, but you get that rhythm, bum 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 to bum bum to bum 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 bum, like that's a very sort of Latin jazz dance type of rhythm that's going on, and it's carried by that wonderful trumpet sound as well, and then into a very tight sort of pop groove for the actual chorus itself, which is really fun. The vocal part, rather, the rhythm is so very upbeat, right? It's a wonderful chord progression as well. Oh, throughout the sections too. The bridge. Oh my goodness, the bridge was absolutely just this wonderful, cool, fresh sort of space. That oh man, I love it when the songs do that, right? Because they're so busy. Once they start to build up, you get your verse section, and then the pre-chorus is like very, very strong in this one. Like I love it. I love the change ups and the rhythms and everything. And then the chorus, man, it's such a tight groove. And then when you finally get to that bridge section, and they just sort of expand the space a little bit, and you get this. It's so nice, dude. It's just such a that resolution, that like that room that you get to kind of stretch out a little bit, as far as everything that you're hearing. And it's a wonderful, wonderful color change, always. But in this one in particular, it's a very, very fun concept, man. So I knew it was going to be summery. I was already thinking, like, well, it looks pretty tropical, right? Like, it looks like the island set up. And also we got a roller coaster, we got all these things going on that look like very, very fun, right? I don't know what these parachutes are, little care package drops or something, I don't know. But all very fun from the start with the visuals and everything. But definitely a wonderful blend of sounds. These little stylistic undertones in certain sections. That trumpet part really encapsulates that entire sort of Latin jazz feel. That entire vibe exists within, like, the trumpet parts. You hear it has more lines later on in the song that are absolutely beautiful lines for sure. Okay. Oh, right off the bat, you hear that? Right? That little intro part is trumpet right away. Like, trumpet right away. So I'm thinking this is electric piano or something similar to that, It's a keyboard, type of sound. That's like that big chunk of the rhythm section that you're hearing. There are little synth, parts in here, little synth tones that you hear, but it's not really like the sections. Any particular part is like leaning completely on a synth sound, more like it's accents for different parts. Put a little emphasis maybe on the end of a phrase or something like that. For the most part, it's that keyboard type of sound for the rhythm, and it's something like electric piano, perhaps. But it's very soft. Like the way it probably has to do with some of the production on it. Some of the EQing, some of the shaping of that sound. But it's so it almost glows, like the way that sound sort of radiates. It's very, very comfortable, man. It's very, very soothing, actually. The percussion is extremely punchy. There's a lot of punch in what sounds like some that electronic drum kit type of sound, but it's like very, very punchy and snappy, incredibly so. Okay, so you hear the upbeats, right? Bum, 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 bum. So very tropical, like very, very, very much in that groove. Whenever you start to hear that sort of rhythm that sticks to the upbeats, to the ands, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, that's definitely within that style. It's very, very wonderful use of that sound. So there's definitely like a clean electric guitar that comes in there. Those whole note chords, bum, bum, bum. So you have that piano sound and it's doubled with this electric guitar part. It's an extremely clean guitar, and it's a little hard to pick out. Right now I'm hearing it mostly panned right, but you also have the beginnings of that trumpet sound coming back around too now. But even that, right, from the sort of that upbeat rhythm, right, that bum 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 bum, and then this wonderful like sustained chord progression now, bum bum. It almost has this like symphonic type of quality to it. It's so subtle, right? At the end of that, those wonderful sustained chords that are going on there in that one section as we move towards the chorus, right? To bring in this quick little like Latin dance type of shuffle rhythm, and that's a classic sound too. Like that goes back many generations for sure. It's such a it's a really nice touch, and it does this wonderful job of like moving you towards what this chorus actually is. It's a very colorful and interesting actual composition. Like the everything that's going on here, actually, it's really fun. So that percussion like right before the chorus comes in, it's so punchy, and you get this these double stops. You know, it's a very quick, like upbeat type of part that's going on there. The rhythm really starts to ramp up, right? And then it goes into you know, a very familiar, like a definitely a very pop type of rhythm for the chorus section, and the way that the vocal parts is sort of expanding and contracting there, right? Like in the first line of the chorus part, it's pretty much just quarter notes. It's on the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and then, you know, it starts to go through its subdivision. First you start to get some eighth notes in there, and then it's 16th notes by the, you know, ba da 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 da, like it, and it's almost kind of imitating a little bit of that Latin dance rhythm also, the bum 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 to bum bum to bum, right? It's doing a different type of arpeggiation, the ascending and descending there, and it's in the pattern that's going on. But it's this progression through quarter note, eighth note, 16th note, getting a little bit more intricate as it goes through. Like the vocal part is doing a lot of this very fun work over the chorus section, is part of the reason why it's such a great chorus. Oh, it's a nice guitar. It's a nice little guitar riff in there. It's very like hidden. There's so much going on, right? The percussion is super strong in this mix, but there are these subtle guitar parts in there. I heard a rhythm part earlier. But there was like a nice little guitar lick that was in there. It had a little bit more distortion on it though, but that was really fun. Change up again. So a change up again, right? Moving into the second verse. Now we got more of the rap lyric, or the rap vocal part rather. DJ sounds in there. There were scratches, like all of a, again at the end of a phrase, right? Like as the phrase nears its completion, that's when you get things like synth hits or the turntable scratches or something like that. So put a little bit of accent on the end of a phrase, and the change up, like coming out of a really strong progressive pre-chorus to chorus type of section, then all of a sudden the mix, you know, came down a little bit, right? Like there was got a little bit more minimalist there, but it's so brief. It's just that one phrase for the start of the second verse section, and then on to something else. Like it's extremely busy. It's like taking you many different directions so quickly, but it's such a great balance. It's not too much and it's not too little either. Like it's fun. It's fun throughout. Oh, so the again another change up too. Now we had the piano, that sort of electric piano sound coming in. A little bit of bass guitar also, right? They're hitting the downbeat on the ones, right, for each bar, to bum and bum, right, and you have the percussion part filling in with that like it's a very deliberate rhythm that's being used in the drum part there, and those sort of it's almost like muted hits, you know. And then there was right before this, as this second phrase here sort of comes to an end, you notice the vocal part. That was a nice little triplet rhythm that came in the part right before this one here. Let me see. 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly, 4, right? A nice use of 3 over this in 4 count there on the vocal part. It's very fun. This is an incredibly fun song. Oh, the bass and the guitar, they rang out so clear in this one. This is like the cap of the sort of the way the verse sections end, right? And this isn't pre-chorus yet, but it's the little step in between the verse and the actual pre-chorus. The great choreo. Oh. The wonderful this what a great descending line, and that's the electric piano sound you hear, and also the bass and that trumpet part. Oh, it's so nice in the right. It's in the right ear. And it's just, you know, like floating down, almost like a feather. Da, 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 da. And it starts to swell up again. It's a fantastic trumpet part, man. It's such a great line. It really is. It adds so much, like, character to that little bridge section there, right? It adds so much color, and it's really, really nice. This is for all the change ups, right? It's you never lose track of it. You know when that like chorus part's gonna come around again, and I really enjoy what they do with the choreography. Also, they're very like their charm. You know what I mean? The group has this very charming quality. It reminds me of Twice a little bit, if I'm being honest. You know, the smiles, the sounds, the like. You know, it's they're able to perhaps tap into that same type of appeal, like as a group. You know what I mean? They have a lot of charisma for sure. Like they're just very fun to watch. Like they're just very fun and entertaining to just like sit there and watch them, you know, and listen to them. So they do have a bit of that same type of quality. Nice. Really nice. So after that high note, coming out of that bridge section, that, you know, high note went way up there. it seemed like the vocal parts that followed that, also kind of jumped up in pitch. It was a lot more of that higher end of like chest voice sort of register going on, throughout that. That was interesting. I mean, a lot of times you'll hear like that high note, and then it'll kind of, there might be some vocal licks too that follow, but for the most part, it'll take you back into that familiar sort of groove and pitch that was going throughout. But I really sounded to me like all the vocal parts that followed that high note kept it higher. Like they all were like, okay, we'll come up now as far as the pitch goes. Now it seems to be shifting like back into that familiar area that it has been in throughout the song.
What do you wanna be? You know all I ever wanna be. I like it. Where do you wanna be?
The guitar's going off. That was great. That was a great build up. Yeah, that was a very nice finish. There's some interesting guitar stuff. It's kind of difficult to parse out. I think that's mostly a lot of times like when you watch the video, right, and you're on YouTube and you're watching the video, the audio compression is so egregious on these, when it's the music video. If you're on YouTube Music or Spotify or when it's just audio that you're dealing with, it's not so bad. Especially you get downloads of songs and things like that. So a lot of the parts are a little bit easier to pick up on, and there are even many times when I've listened to a song that I initially saw the video for or heard on YouTube, and because the audio compression is just so severe, and there's nothing really that you can do about that. It has to do with bandwidth and all these other things. It's just a part of the platform. But it'll be a song that I've heard like several times, but I'll listen to the download of it, just the audio, and I'll be like, wow, I never heard that backing vocal part. I never heard that. What the heck is that line? Like, I've never noticed that before. And a lot of that is due to the audio compression that occurs whenever you're watching the video. But I can definitely hear like the stuff that's going on with some of those instrument parts in here. It's very, very fun. It's an extremely progressive type of composition, right? This song's going through so many different rhythms and styles, and it's a little bit of everything, man, in this one song. It's yeah, and it's an extremely fun time. Like, it's very entertaining. This group, they sound so and it's so enjoyable. The sound of their voice, all their vocals are, they're similar in pitch, range throughout this song, and maybe some of I've only heard a couple of songs, right? So it might have to do with them being sort of a newer group, right? It's his second album here, so perhaps there will be examples of different ranges, a different I think I'm trying to remember from the first song, but I think yeah, there was a little bit of lower end sound in that one. For this particular song though, for Coconut, it's very nice to have the pitch range that they're in for this song. It makes sense. They're very colorful, very sweet, melodic distribution over this mix that is going on, which is, like I said, extremely busy, and just taking you to all these different fun sort of like rhythms and styles and places, right? Like, it's very, very fun. It's a wonderful trumpet sound. It stands out as like, an example of a song that actually makes use of like the trumpet in a very like, it's good and it's also fun, right? And it's a wonderful sort of a sound to incorporate into this mix. And it's got so much stuff going on to it. Extremely fun verse sections, extremely fun pre-chorus section, the little Latin jazz dance type of undertones that are going on, the callbacks in the vocal rhythms in the chorus to that. It's a lot of things going on that are very interesting and so entertaining at the same time. I think this is a fantastic sort of comeback, right? For if this is the initial offering for the second album, it's absolutely fun and fitting, seasonal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many boxes getting checked here as far as this particular song is going. So this is very, very good, man. This is fun. This is a fun time. This was a fun time. Oh my goodness. Okay. There's a lot of stuff to get caught up on. Definitely, there are like so many groups that have been dropping, new songs and new things over the past, like, not even a month. My goodness, it's so busy right now, right? But we'll get through it. We'll check them out for sure. This was a blast. This is a blast. NiziU, Coconut. This is a very fun song, man. They did so well with this. This is just really incredible stuff. I like to see this and experience this. It's beginning to really feel like, the continuation off of Third Generation. You know what I mean? Like I noted that this group has a lot of Twice-like charm to it. Like, they really do. I'm seeing it now. Like, I'm really like noticing is this wonderful appeal, both in the visual and in the sound too, right? They're just really fun to watch, and that's very cool. There's just something about it. Like, I'm not saying that they're trying to be Twice or anything. No, it's the evolution. It's continuing on, right, in this spirit, if you will, but in its own direction, in its own generation, in its own time, and all of that, for sure. There will only be one Twice, right? Like, I would never expect anybody to be the next Twice or whatever. Like, no. There's only one. But that doesn't mean that the groups who succeed them, can't come into their own as something just as entertaining and just as appealing. And I'm really starting to pick up on a vibe like that from NiziU, and it's very cool to see it. You know what I mean? To experience. It's a very, very fun thing, man. It's very fun. But that was a wonderful time. NiziU, Coconut. This is good. This is really, really good.